What up, y'all? Welcome to the YouTube channel, Real Advantage Productions. I go by Paz B. Two great things about me: I'm a cool guy, number one. Number two, I stand by what I say. I try to do what I say I'm going to do. Dependable. I'm a dependable dude. That's number two. Like I said, I'm Paz B. This is Real Advantage Productions. And I got something I want to talk to y'all about today. Let's get into it.
I want to talk about this DC shooting with the National Guard. Two National Guard members got shot, said they were headshots. One girl has died. One National Guard soldier is dead. Other one is critically wounded. They said it was done by a Afghan person from Afghanistan, came to this country as an ally, was granted asylum this year in 2025, but he's been in the country for a couple of years. I hear this guy is married, has, I think he said 5 children. All the children are Americans. His wife is an American. So it looked like he's integrated well into the country. And he's over here because he was helping our fight against the Taliban in Afghanistan. So he was working with the CIA. I was on the streets of DC doing National Guard work during the first Trump inauguration. I was there for inauguration when Trump got in office the first time. So I was there on the subways and walking the streets of DC. What I want to talk about with this video is the response from the president, response from the White House. I think the response is a little heavy-handed. I hear a lot of talk about making it harder for the Afghans that are already in the country, the people who are already in the country. We want to re-vet them. We're talking about sending them back to Afghanistan. As I said, I was an active duty soldier. I did 5.5 years active duty. I was deployed to Afghanistan, Operation Enduring Freedom. I was deployed to Afghanistan, there for about a 9-month deployment. While I was there, of course, we was in war with Afghanistan. That operation went on for 20 years, I believe. Thank goodness for Joe Biden for getting us out of that. It went on for far too long. But since it did go on for 20 years, there's a lot of people who can say and talk about the things that I want to talk about right now, because a lot of soldiers are over there. Like I said, the thing went on for 20 years. But when I was there from 2011 to 2012. And while I was there, there were a lot of Afghans that gave a lot of help and support to the mission. I have no idea what happened with this DC shooter or this Afghani who did this terrible thing. I have no idea. Maybe he had a mental breakdown. I don't know what his situation. They got to tell us. They got to research that and tell us what's going on. But what I don't believe is right is painting with a broad brush. I don't believe this. What I don't like is I don't like that this action by this individual is being accounted to the whole group of people. I don't like this whole, we're going to ban a whole nation because this one individual did something horrible. Another point I'll make is that in America, we have this thing called a prison. We have this thing called a jail. And the American prisons are filled with millions of Americans who do bad things. For example, people get shot every day in America. People get shot in the face every day in America. There's a lot of Americans. We have crime in America, and when something bad happens to somebody, you usually go after that individual. It can't be. We don't go after their family or their brother or sister. Or, for example, somebody shoots somebody tomorrow, and they work for Verizon. So the next day, we say everybody who works for Verizon is a bad guy. We gotta harass them. We gotta re-vet them. We gotta watch them a little more carefully. We have to get everybody who works for Verizon has to come out the country. That would be ridiculous, right? That's not the way it's been done. That's not the way it's been done for years. Basically, accountability starts and ends with the person accountable. The person who this individual who shot shot and killed these soldiers, they need to get what they get, held into the highest standard of the law. But that's where it should start and that's where it should end. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody who played a part in that shooting, in that death of that soldier, and the shooting of the other soldier, everybody who played a part in that needs to be punished. But punishing an entire group of people, an entire nationality, an entire religion, I don't really agree with that. That's so I don't agree with that. I hear a lot of talk about, I was talking to a coworker. He was in the military too, and I was asking him, what would you do in a situation? The way they described it, the shooter came within 10 feet and just walked around the corner and just started shooting. I was like, how did they train you guys? And he was an 11 Bravo, a Marine. I say, well, how did they train you guys? What do you guys do in a situation like that? Or is there anything you can do in a situation like that as far as, rules of engagement, or as far as, staying active and being ready? How would you handle something like that? And the only thing he could talk about was, oh, we need to get them all out the country, man. That's the only way it's going to stop. And I'm like, that's the wrong conversation. So the conversation about punishing a whole group of people, I don't agree with. The conversation about this one individual happened to be from Afghanistan, so we got to look at everybody from Afghanistan, look at everybody who helped us, all our allies who helped us over there. We have to betray them, or we have to make it harder for them, or we have to look at them because of something that one individual did. I don't agree with. Another example I'll say, like, say for example, my car gets broken into, and we find out the person who broke into my car lived on a certain street. So the response will be, we get the person who broke into my car, but also everybody on that street, we got to look at badly now. Everybody on that street needs to be put in jail. Everybody on that street who lives on that street needs to be associated with the one person who robbed my car. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, we need to treat people individually. That's the way it should be, So that's what I think. What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying?